Come. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Kiran, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, Kiran, your email is interesting, email address. In the email address, you have written 3 R's in succession.
Yes, sir.
Was it that your name had many similar email addresses, or was it some astrologer or numerologist?
Sir, there were 2 reasons. First, as you said, my name was not available. Second, sir, in my college and school, people used to tease me like Shah Rukh Khan used to say my name in the movie Dar. So it got into my habit and I used just 3 hours instead of.
Okay, all right.
Yes, sir.
So, Kiran is from Jaipur, Rajasthan.
Yes, sir.
Electrical engineering, PSIR.
Yes, sir.
All right. And where are you working right now, Kiran?
Sir, in Indian Oil Corporation Limited at Panipat Terminal, sir.
Panipat Refinery.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Playing badminton.
Yes, sir.
So, can you tell me what is the historical, cultural, religious, spiritual importance of Banaras, the place from where you have done your IIT?
Sir, historically, Banaras is considered as one of the oldest city, which we have, which has mentioned in our scriptures. Culturally, sir, it is a place for mainly for Hindus, and their religious aspects are basically it is related to the place of Shiva. It is considered as the place of Shiva. It has one of the Jyotirlingas as well. So it has cultural and religious significance for Hindus basically. Third, sir, regarding historical significance, sir, I have already mentioned.
Spiritual,
sir. Sir, since I believe that there is amalgamation of many religions in Varanasi, if we consider Hindus and Muslims, and they live in harmony with each other. And the fact that there are many ghats and the peace that it gives, it itself has a spiritual aspect, sir. And
can you name, let's come to the straight away to the point. Can you name some of the spiritual persons from Banaras and some very, very historical plus spiritual place near Banaras?
So for spiritual person, the proponents of Bhakti movement, Kabir and
Kabir is one.
Then Ravidas sir, he is also
Yes,
associated
Ravidas also,
with
correct.
Banaras sir. And
who wrote Vinay Patrika there?
sir, I'm sorry, I'm not aware of that.
Who also wrote Ramcharitmanas?
I'm sorry, sir, I'll have to look on that.
Tulsidas?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And a place called Sarnath nearby?
Yes, sir. So it has significance for the Buddhist community. And sir, it is believed to be...
Can you tell me how many universities are there in Banaras? One where you studied.
Yes, sir.
There are 2 other universities also. And quite famous universities. Have you heard about them?
I'm sorry, sir. I'll have to look on the other 2
Kashi
universities.
Vidyapeeth and Sanskrit University. They
yes,
are
sir.
from Banaras.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Tell me, what is the immunity enjoyed by governor?
Sir, governor, governor, sir, they cannot be... for 2 months, they cannot be... there cannot be any criminal cases against the governors. They are immune from that aspect. And for civil cases also, there needs to be at least a 2-month notice which needs to be provided to the governor. Sir, secondly, governor is at the...
You can go and read about it. This
Okay.
governor is what is the immunity enjoyed by.
Okay, sir.
Can you tell me what do you understand by GEM?
Yes, sir. So GEM is Government E-Marketplace, which is a place where the MSMEs specifically, it is an online marketplace where the PSUs and the government, they procure the requirement, whatever.
What are the things which you can procure on GEM?
Yes, sir. Sir, there are a variety of things. For example,
Categories.
Okay, sir.
There are thousands of things, but
Yes, sir.
categories. They broadly fall in 3 categories, out of which only 2 categories you can procure on GEM. Can you tell me those general categories?
I'm sorry, sir. I'll have to
You
look
can
in
go and
the
study it.
because
It is
I know.
goods and services.
Okay, sir. You
Only
were
these
talking
two.
about.
The
Okay,
work
sir.
contract cannot be done, procured through the GEM.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Electrical, since electrical engineering is your BTech, so tell me, what do you understand by 3 nines, 4 nines and 5 nines? Have you heard about 3 nines, 4 nines and 5 nines in terms of quality of electric power? Have you heard about it?
No, sir. I'm sorry, sir. I've not heard
That
about.
also you can kindly go and study.
Yes, sir.
3 nines is 99.9% pure power.
Okay, sir.
4 nines is 99.99% pure power.
Okay,
5
sir.
nines is 99.999% pure power.
Okay, sir. I've not come across this aspect. I'll go and read it,
And
sir.
also study why the voltages are always in the multiple of 11.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, Kiran, some questions from PSIR.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you must have come across a famous statement that there are no permanent friends or permanent enemies. In international relations, there are only permanent interests.
Yes, sir.
It is attributed to Kissinger, and before Kissinger, Lord Castlereagh and many others had stated the same thing in similar language or words to that effect.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain this with reference to India and its foreign relations?
Yes, sir. Sir, if we consider the statement that there are no friends or there are no permanent friends and enemies, so after independence, if we consider India's case, then, for example, US relation, it has not always been at the comfortable place which it is currently. If we consider the 1962 wars or at 1971 war, then, sir, with respect to China as well, currently our India-China relations are in economic terms at a very good level. However, in the border issues that there is. So with China, we had problems in 1962. They got resolved after that, and currently also we are having problems. So it is not that China has always been our permanent enemy.
So just to correct you, these problems never got resolved.
Yes, sir, but
however, there was resumption.
Yes, sir.
Some kind of a initiative from both sides, and relations reached a different stage, and it acquired different complexion.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
Thank you.
I think that's right. That's a very good example. You've explained it well.
Thank you, sir.
Now, how would you describe globalization? Is it a problem? Is it a solution? Or is it merely a process which has affected the different parts of the world, different countries in different ways?
Sir, I would not consider globalization as a problem, and I would not consider it as a panacea as well, because globalization in economic terms has opened a lot of arenas where developing countries can interact with the other developed countries, and they have improved their GDP levels and growth levels. For example, what we saw after 1991. However, we have also seen the negative aspect of globalization as well. Most recently, the COVID pandemic. It is in a way a result of globalization only, because after globalization, we have the transfer of people as well as services within the countries. And through that, the COVID pandemic increased to the level it was. So I believe that there are both aspects to the globalization. However, in order to achieve the maximum potential, we need to look at the positive aspects.
Okay. So would you like to refer to the statement I made and tailor your answer accordingly? So it is not a problem, you said.
Yes,
It is
sir.
not necessarily a solution.
Yes, sir.
However, the process has. So the third part of the statement is what you endorse and agree,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So say it in so many words and frame it according to the question posed.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you. Okay, sir. Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You played good badminton,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Can you name one badminton player who set an ethical example by refusing to sponsor a drink? A drink that he didn't believe in, a drink that was not healthy.
Sir, I know a football player who set
I'm
an
asking you for
example.
badminton
Lekin,
player.
I'm not aware of the badminton player, sir.
So you're not taking the best lesson out of this game. You're just playing for physical exercise.
Uh,
Anyway, that man is Gopi Chand. You can
okay,
read more
thank you,
about
sir.
this.
Thank you, sir.
There's been domestic violence is one of the major problems. Is it happening more in the lower strata of society or also in higher strata?
So, domestic problem in India involves not only lower strata but higher strata as well. And in fact, if we consider the lower strata, for example, tribal society, the problem is less as compared to when it is in the higher strata for various reasons. So, to answer,
Is higher domestic violence more in higher strata?
sir, it is for the sake of data, I will not be able to tell whether it is higher statistically in the higher strata. However, it is a problem of the entire society, sir, no matter the economical conditions, sir.
Okay, you've seen the film. There's a film called Thappad.
Yes, sir.
Suppose this happens in your house. You're married
Yes, sir.
and your husband slaps you. How will you respond? What will you do?
Sir, I do not think that if there is no respect in a relationship, then that relationship is something in which I want to stay in, as was there in the movie Thappad as well. There can be many excuses to the action which a person has taken. However, the end point is that the use of violence cannot be justified in any scenario, sir. So, just as the women did in the movie Thappad, I would not want to stay in that relationship, sir.
All right. Sometime back, IOC was experimenting with Jatropha biofuels.
Yes, sir.
Given the huge quantum of the fuel requirement in India, do you think a biofuel is really a viable alternative?
Sir, with the increasing amount of biofuels mixing in the petrol that we are doing since 2016 and 18 to be specific, sorry, I do not think that biofuels at the level of technology that we have today can completely replace the other fuels. However, sir, we are in a stage where we can reduce the amount of petrol, thereby reducing other aspects, import and pollution, and through the use of biofuels, sir. But
What are the challenges of growing Jatropha?
I'm sorry, sir. I will have
Okay,
to look in
yeah,
the.
it's very interesting. Please read.
Okay, sir.
India fought somebody in Sri Lanka in '87.
Yes, sir.
Where did it start and why did we land up fighting there?
Sir, it was an organization, LTTE, where our forces were deployed to fight them on the request of the government. And Jaffna was the main, if I'm not wrong,
No,
sir.
that's not quite true. The
sir.
origin is something else. Please read about it.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
sir. Okay.
What do you feel about constructive criticism in dissent?
Ma'am, I think that constructive criticism and dissent, they both are and should be a part of democracy if we want to grow as a nation. Because not everything can be perfect. There are various point of views, and we can get a hold of all those views through constructive criticism only. Until unless it is being used for the positive aspect, that is for improvement of whatever is being considered.
Okay. Do you think engineers are better administrators than people with social science background?
Ma'am, I do believe that engineers have certain qualities when it comes to multitasking or managing the time well. However, it depends upon the person who is the administrator, whether he or she is from social sciences or engineering background. And so I would not like to categorize engineers as someone superior to those of social sciences background. Both have their advantages, ma'am.
How will you improve the quality of education if you are education secretary?
Ma'am, education in rural areas as well as urban areas, both needs to be looked upon in a different manner. Firstly, in rural areas, um, I believe that the quality of teacher training, it can be increased, and the pedagogy and the curriculum that we are using, they can be more feedback based. For example, what I had seen in the primary school, a teacher was using, she had all the data regarding all the students and the learning capabilities that each and every student was having after every week. So, and by using the technology, it was there was effort to increase on that specific area where the students was failing. Second, ma'am, the infrastructural problem which is there in the rural areas, specifically in the government schools, we need to focus on improving that. Now, in in urban areas, ma'am, even though the infrastructural part has largely been taken care of, however, again, the teacher training and the quality of education that these teachers are providing. Second is the way that teachers are teaching. We also need to look at that aspect as well. And third, ma'am, there is a need to change the curriculum of our Indian education system, ma'am, so that we can achieve the requirements of today's world.
Any steps you would like to take to ensure women's safety?
Ma'am, women's safety is a very important aspect when it comes to involving school education as well as increasing the labor force participation. So for improving the women's safety, first we need to have end-to-end connectivity. For example, the public infrastructure that we have, they are not providing the end mile connectivity, because of which we are feeling unsafe in women are feeling unsafe in reaching their homes, and therefore not coming out of their homes that much. Second, the road infrastructure in the terms of lighting and the CCTVs, that needs to be increased so that the perpetrators also are fearful of getting caught. Third, accessibility of women in approaching the police through more women policemen, and improving the interaction of police officers with women. This aspect also needs to be improved so that women can come forward and report the incidences, which is very less, ma'am. So these three aspects. Thank you, ma'am.
Kiran,
Yes, ma'am.
for how long have you been living in Panipat?
Ma'am, this will be my 4th year, ma'am.
If I visit Panipat, what are the places that you would like to show me?
Ma'am, in Panipat, there is a place where the war was fought. The Panipat wars were fought.
What is that place called?
Ma'am, I'm not aware of the exact name of that place. However, this is something which is there in Panipat having historical significance. So that is one place. And other than that, ma'am, there are many textile mills that one can visit.
Have you visited that place? Because I feel that it doesn't exist anymore.
Ma'am,
That's what my knowledge tells me.
Ma'am, it does not exist in the form it was earlier. However, there are stones and other aspects which are placed in that area to signify that it was the place where Panipat war was fought. So, if someone has a historical inquisitiveness so as to visit
Okay,
that
which
place.
other places?
Second, ma'am, will be the textile mills. There are many textile mills where you can see how the process
Okay,
goes
anything
on.
else?
Ma'am, I would like them to visit our refinery as well because that is one of the important aspect of Panipat.
Okay, Kiran, why is it that the refinery is located in Panipat? What is the geographical significance of the refinery being there in Panipat?
Ma'am, to cater to the demands of the North India, there was only earlier a refinery available at Mathura. So there was a requirement of another place to cater the demands of Northern India. So that is why.
Why not Karnal? Why not Sonipat? Why Panipat?
Ma'am, Panipat has, which I can think of, although I am not sure whether it is the correct explanation. However, Panipat also has other industries, for example, NFL and other related industries through which the refinery can get the other, for example, electrical aspects. These things can be taken care of easily due to the proximities of other industries, ma'am.
All right. Kiran, have you gone through the budget this time?
Yes, ma'am.
We are talking about green energy
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
budget.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think there are sufficient provisions in the budget to meet the targets we've set, or do you feel they're unrealistic?
Ma'am, regarding green energy, we have green hydrogen mission for 19,000 crores that we have put aside for. Ma'am, currently the budget has not envisaged what steps the government will take as to achieve those targets. We have just given a picture of what we want to achieve. However, for example, the budget session which is being started today again, I hope to believe that government comes with the specific criterias. And I do not think that it is not an achievable aspect.
Is there any SDG that talks about green energy?
Yes, ma'am. For example, SDG 13, climate change. It talks about the green energy, increasing the green energy in the mix. Then we have SDG 12, responsible
All
consumption.
right, my last question to you would be, you're from Banaras Hindu University.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel when some students hear this name, it doesn't give a secular impression. Don't you feel educational institutes in India should have names that give secular impression?
Ma'am, I think that the name which is given to any institution, it has some historical significance. And although I do believe that the names of institution where the future of India is studying, they should have a secular connotation so that every member of the society needs to feel secured where he or she is studying. However, ma'am, by changing the name of any institution, we will be changing the basis on which that institution stood. So, ma'am, I think that for newer institution, we can go for through the secular aspect. However, older
Got it.
institution-
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kiran, your mock is over.
Okay,
We will
thank
call
you,
you
sir.
back for after a few moments for the feedback.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. May I come in, sir?
Come. Have a seat, Kiran.
Thank you, sir.
Kiran, when is your interview?
Sir, April 6th.
You have got for the first time a call for the interview.
Yes, sir.
How do you think you performed today on this mock?
Sir, I was a little low on energy, I thought, and
You are coming from another
yes,
another
sir.
mock interview.
Yes, sir. So that was something which I should not have done. And sir, I need to read upon the theoretical aspects a little, which are especially related to my DAF. I think so. Other than that, sir, please.
So, Kiran, by and large, you are absolutely fine. You are good, and your communication is very good. Articulation is good. Some of the things which may be better learned, that when you are not sure about the factual positions, so then sometimes it is better to say that you do not know. So, but otherwise also, if you can prepare slightly more, for example, the Banaras, Panipat, and Haryana, and Jaipur, and Rajasthan, all the things actually figure in your DAP.
Yes, sir.
So you need to prepare on all the 3 states,
Yes, sir.
and also the places to which you belong.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, your mental alertness was very much there. You have a very good personality. Demeanor is good. Voice is good. Your articulation, along with communication skills which are needed, present yourself, and also the choice of right words, it was all there. There is nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely fine. Coming to some specific things, I don't have to tell you, but you do prepare on number one, PSIR. For example, I asked you about the immunity enjoyed by the governor.
Yes, sir.
So prepare that slightly well.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, role of the president, vice president, speaker,
Yes, sir.
how they can be impeached, you know, and the appointment of judges, which are the specific articles which relate to security of civil servants' jobs, Article 311, and
Yes, sir.
writ petitions, under which articles, how a new state can be created, the preamble. So read through the constitution.
Yes, sir.
And also the ethics and values, you read through that. Because leadership, team building, all those integrity, honesty things.
Yes, sir.
Panipat, when you were telling me, and about Benares also, Benares, Tulsidas is known to be
Yes, sir.
a great spiritual person.
Yes, sir.
So that was an important thing which you could have
Yes, sir.
brought out. And besides talking about the temple, Vishwanath temple, there are a number of other important temples there, which probably it will be good if you mention them also.
Okay, sir.
Like where the temple where the Prime Minister himself went, along with, besides Vishwanath temple, he went to Kal
Kal
Bhairav.
Bhairav, sir.
So
Yes.
Kal Bhairav is a very famous temple of Banaras.
Yes, sir. I know, sir. Yes.
And similarly, Sankat Mochan is a very famous
Yes, sir.
temple.
Yes, sir.
And then some of the things typical of Banaras. So, in terms of saris, in terms of food articles, and many things about Banaras. So, read about Banaras quite well, the ghats.
Yes, sir.
Then coming to Panipat, Buali Shah Kalandar Mazar, you did not mention that. Have you have not heard about Buali Shah Kalandar Mazar?
No, sir.
This time when you go back, you should visit that.
Okay, sir.
And very near Panipat, there is Kala Amb.
Okay, sir.
There is a history attached to this Kala Amb. You should read that.
Okay, sir.
Because the blood, so much blood came out in a war that it literally made the soil red. So Kala Amb.
They have a museum also now.
Yeah, they have a museum also. So some of the things associated with Panipat, nearby places like Samalkha,
Yes, sir.
and on the other side, Uttar Pradesh, there is Shamli.
Yes, sir.
You should know about these things.
Okay, sir.
About refinery, since you are in IOCL, so you need to know what is the turnover of IOCL, how many employees are there, what are the diversified activities of IOCL, what are the raw materials it uses, where are its major units, okay?
Yes, sir.
Where are the refineries, where is the LPG bottling plants,
Yes, sir.
so all those things there. Then talking about your electrical engineering.
Yes, sir.
So prepare electrical engineering, the dependence on electric vehicles now, why electric vehicles are need of the hour, what are the constraints in using electric vehicles which we have not got over them, what is our adjoining. When we talk about electricity, then green thing automatically come.
Yes.
Green power, renewable energy. So what is Bhutan doing? What exactly Bhutan has done which India has not been able to do? In fact, there are many lessons India can learn. Some from China, some from Bhutan, some from Bangladesh. So there are, these countries have done very well in some of the aspects. Learn about them also.
Okay.
And India can learn from other Pakistan also. Many things you can learn from Pakistan also. So learn about that. We are not repository of wisdom. There are people surrounding us also who are doing quite well in this regard. And then talk about the United Nations and the different institutions which fall under the umbrella of United Nations. So Security Council and WHO and all those.
Yes, sir.
Some of the global problems that we are facing. And then the economy of this country and the budget. Question was asked on budget. There will be controversial questions also, and I can tell you these controversial questions you prepared. One is the Article 370, citizenship register. You see, the reservation policy will again be a controversial thing, and all these aspects you are supposed to have a very balanced approach.
Yes, sir.
If you have any strong ideas or thoughts about any particular thing, interview is not the place where you should display that.
Yes, sir.
So if and when this questions comes, always have a progressive outlook, looking at it from a distance. What is right and what is wrong? You have to have a balanced view.
Okay, sir.
Okay, you have understood what I am trying
Yes,
to
sir.
say. No?
Yes, sir.
So the pros and cons, wherever there are debatable questions, bring pros and cons.
Okay, sir.
And if they ask for your opinion, follow the official line. Do not go against the official line.
Yes, sir.
If there is a court order, rely on that court order.
Okay, sir.
Demonetization, there is a court order.
Yes, sir.
So on. Then coming to some other things like SDG, question was asked on the SDG also. Prepare SDG and MDGs.
Yes,
You should know what are the Human Development Index, contribution of Amartya Sen in developing Human Development Index,
Yes, sir.
and also Hunger Index
Yes, sir.
and Happiness Index and so on.
Yes, sir.
Current affairs, read about current affairs, the privatization, the PPP, asset monetization, appointment of judges, judiciary versus executive, so judicial overreach. What are the important tenets of good governance, important tenets of our democracy? What are the constraints of our democracy? What are the things we have achieved in the last 75 years? All these things, Amrit Mahotsav,
Yes, sir.
and public policies which have been framed by the government, particularly for the sectors, women, children, senior citizens,
Okay, sir.
and scheduled caste and scheduled tribes.
Yes, sir.
That's about it. And your hobbies include, what were your hobbies?
Badminton only, sir.
Badminton.
Yes,
So prepare that on badminton, that's all. If you have any questions, you can ask us.
Sir, I just wanted to know whether the answers which I had given were, the structure was okay or not, because
The things which you have to keep in mind while giving answers is that always take a pause. Always take a pause, even if it means a few seconds. Structure the answer inside your cerebral mechanism, which is there. Think about it, the context in which that question has been asked, and don't be in a hurry to answer. Then prioritize the answer. Bring out the most important part of the answer first. If possible, try to supplement it with examples. That is how you will do that. There will be a piece of paper in front of you. If you want to jot down your thoughts, you can do that also. And then come out with the answer.
okay, sir.
But otherwise, it's fine. Your delivery is fine, communication is fine. There's nothing to be done about it.
Okay, sir. And one more thing, sir, the eye contact part was
It's absolutely fine.
okay because
Occasional scanning, occasional smile, that's about it necessary. You don't have to use any hands. The way you have put your hands is fine.
okay, sir.
Anything else you can
No,
tell?
sir.
You will do very well. Just your knowledge is most important. Knowledge, prepare on the lines which I have suggested to you, and
Yes,
then
sir.
you will do very well.
Yes, sir.
All the best to
Okay,
you.
thank you, sir. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.